Well, the entire family is finally in bed, so I don't have anybody banging on the door, screaming, "Daddy, Lance hit me," or "Daddy, Tessa won't leave me alone." My wife isn't bothering me. Here we go. Monday, I met up with my friend Eldon, who is a very bad influence on me, and we went to some thrift stores. The first one we stopped at didn't find any console games, but I did find a sealed in the box Advanced Dungeons and Dragons Forgotten Realms Menzo Baranzan, which is a video game that is based on a fictional city from a book that stars my favorite character. And if you guys have read R.A. Salvatore's books, you'll know what I'm talking about. This is a CD-ROM based game. It says it works on Windows 95, and I've got, well, a whole bunch of old computers, and a number of them still run Windows 95, so I'm going to give this one a try, and I really look forward to it. Hopefully, it's as cool as it looks on the back. We'll see. We then drove around to several other thrift stores, and he mentioned a video game shop that some friends of his at work keep bringing up, but that is never open. Nobody has any idea when the place is actually open. So we drove out to it. When we got there, there was a closed sign in the window, and all the lights were off. So he said, "Hey, keep driving. There's a Goodwill down the road here. We'll stop at that and see what they've got." So we did that. They didn't have anything. We were actually driving to go to another Goodwill, but we had to go back the same direction. We drove by, and he's like, "Hey, look, there's an open sign in the window." And the guy had a little bit of everything. I did come away with a couple of things from his store. I first went through and I picked out a couple of Sega Genesis games and asked him how much they cost. Obviously, I found Phantasy Star 2, or actually Eldon found Phantasy Star 2 and handed it to me. He was freaking out because he couldn't get a hold of his wife to have her look it up online, but he popped out the number $20, which isn't a bad price, but I know I can get it for that at some of the local resale stores. So I passed on most of those, but what I did pick up is a Wiko trackball. Now, I have a trackball for my Atari 2600, 7800, and Atari computers, but it's the Atari version, and it's crap. The ball doesn't spin very well. It doesn't react very well on the screen, but the Wiko command controls, I've actually had one of these before, and I mean, they spin much better than the Atari 2600 version. So I got this, got it for $12, which is not a spectacular deal, but it is still a lot cheaper than you can get it on eBay when you factor in shipping. And I was just surprised to see it sitting there. I never see them around here locally. I also picked up Atari computer games. He sold these to me for $1 a piece. There was actually one, I don't remember which one it was. It was Dig Dug. This one cost me $3. I'm not sure why he picked Dig Dug for $3, but anyway, I got Dig Dug, Defender, Donkey Kong, Kicks, Missile Command, Pac-Man, and my own personal favorite, Asteroids. So this effectively doubled my collection of computer games, and sadly, I already have 3 of them, so that should give you an idea of how many cartridges I have for my Atari computer. Then, on Tuesday, my friend Eldon had the day off again, and he gave me a call, said, "Hey, I'm at this video game store, and they have a copy of Gauntlet for," I think he paid $2 for it. So I have Gauntlet now. I have Gauntlet 2. I've been looking for Gauntlet for a good price for a while. He found it for me. Then he called me back, probably like 5 hours later while I was still at work. He was at the Exchange in Canton, Ohio. And he knows that I've been looking for Sega Master System games because I don't really ever see them around here. And when I do, I pick them up. You notice in a pickup video, actually my last 2 pickup videos, I grabbed Sega Master System games loose. Well, he was in the Exchange in Canton, called me up, said, hey, they've got a whole bunch of Sega Master System games. They want $2.50 for everything. Now, I was assuming that they were loose, but no, they were in cases. Yeah, Great Baseball. I had him pick them up for me, that is. Action Fighter. Rambo. Aztec Adventure. Zillion. And now Zillion, it's a little cut up, but I can get a new cover from the cover project and fix that up. Alex Kidd in Miracle World. And I know I'm going to pronounce this wrong, but Golvelius, Valley of Doom. And the really cool thing about them is not that they're in the case, not that they have the little tabby still attached to the top, but that they're complete and they're in really good condition. They even come, all of them, well, not all of them, but most of them come with the posters. And the thing that I just dropped, the original Toys R Us receipts with, interestingly enough, now some of you younger kids might not know what this is, but the carbon copy of the credit card receipt. So I have this person's credit card number. I have a transfer of their credit card. Kitty, I'll have to see if that credit card's still valid. Probably not. It's probably out of date by now. One of these actually came with a really cool map that I am going to have framed, and I wish I had kept better track because I would show you, and it's really cool. Whatever game that was, I seem to have misplaced it, and I can't show it to you, so sorry about that. But it came with a really cool map that I'm going to take and frame. And that was everything Eldon picked up for me on Tuesday. The Sega Master System games were all $2.50, so I was really, really happy. I didn't have any of those. Went into yet another new video game store, resale shop, and picked up, well, I don't know, a handful of Sega Genesis games. And these were all $1 or less, and I think about half of them were 50 cents, but I got X-Mutants, Bram Stoker's Dracula, Warlock, another copy of Altered Beast, F-15 Strike Eagle, 2, Light Crusader, and another copy of Stargate, as well as Dynamite Duke. Now, as a general rule, Sega Genesis games that have an actual actor's picture on them are terrible. I've never played this one, but we'll find out. While I was there, I also picked up, for $2 a piece, 3 3DO games. I picked up Out of This World, Crash and Burn, and Iron Angel the Apocalypse. So my total purchase here was what, 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, like $10.50 for some 3DO games and a bunch of loose Genesis games. But then Wednesday, I went out and I picked up a couple of games early. I got for my friend Cortland, Blades of Steel, Double Dribble for $1. And I picked up for myself Tecmo Super Bowl right there, because I didn't have that yet. I decided to go back to the exchange in Canton again on my lunch and, well, pretty much buy out the rest of the games that they had there. Now, some of these I already had, but I either had them loose or I didn't have the manuals for them, and I wanted to get the manuals. But I picked up Pro Wrestling, World Grand Prix, Walter Payton Football, Great Football, Parlor Games, Joe Montana Football, and Black Belt. And I just found the game that I couldn't find a minute ago. I had it mixed into the wrong pile. Miracle Warriors, Seal of the Dark Lord. And it came not just with the manual, but with this map, well, and notes from the tip line that they called. And I thought the map was really cool looking. I don't know if it came with the game or not. If anybody has this game or had it back in the day and knows if it came with the map, let me know. I'm guessing that it did. It is really cool looking, and I plan to frame that because I like the way it looks. Try not to waste too much time here. I don't want this pickup video to be 45 minutes. And along with that, I picked up a couple of other games. As partial repayment for the games that he picked up for me, I picked up Gauntlet Legends for Eldon for the Nintendo 64. I picked up Shadow Dancer, The Secret of Shinobi, because, I don't know, I've just decided I want all the Shinobi games. The Adventures of Mighty Max, complete with the manual, and Pitfall for the Intellivision. And, well, with the exception of Gauntlet Legends, these were all $2.50 too, so I thought that those were a fairly good deal. Today, I went back to the Exchange in Canton and picked up a couple of Intellivision games here. Complete in the box. Picked up Night Stalker and Star Strike. Then I turned around and looked behind me, and they had gotten in some new NES games, and these were all either $1 or $2.50. I picked up a couple of them that I already have, but my son doesn't have. I don't believe my son has them. Picked up RC Pro-Am and Jackal. Then I picked up a few others. One is for my friend Cortland, Tecmo Bowl. And these four are for me. I did not have them in my collection. I picked this one up because it's a Tecmo game, Star Force. It's a shooter. Doesn't look like a particularly good one, but I like shooters and I like Tecmo. I picked up Spy Hunter because I like the music. Rad Racer 2, well, essentially because it's by Square. And yes, I know it's not a good game, but I picked up Xenophobe. Those were all the video games I picked up this week. However, last Sunday, we went to the Mid-Ohio Comic-Con, and I picked up a couple of things. Actually, I didn't pick them up at the Mid-Ohio Comic-Con. I picked them up on the way home. We're so lame that on our day away from our wives, we decided to stop at thrift stores in the Columbus area, and we didn't have a whole lot of luck at the thrift stores at the Columbus area because all of them that were on the map were either closed or had been converted to something else. But we stopped for lunch about halfway home in a town called Mansfield, and there are a couple of thrift stores there that I frequent every week because I work. That's one of the areas that I work. And my friend Portland found a Game Boy Color with a few games, and then they had a few games loose. And he didn't want the games that came with the Game Boy Color, so he talked the lady behind the counter into letting him swap them out. Then I found a couple of things. This is not game related here, but and it's got a tag on it. I found Star Trek The Next Generation Game of Galaxies, sealed in the box. Now, I like board games too, in case you guys haven't noticed. Well, actually, how would you notice? I don't think I've ever shown you my board games. I'll show you my board game collection one day, and this will be part of it. Then I picked up, from 1978, Merlin. I don't really know what this is. I think it's like I think you can play tic-tac-toe and like a Simon-type game. We'll see. The battery compartment is all corroded. Well, I cleaned it up a little bit, but I mean, it's still pretty nasty in there. So right now it doesn't work. And then I picked this thing here up. It is a pinball game from 1980, I think? Yeah, 1980. And it is called Raise the Devil. That is a pretty cool looking thing. And I got it for $1.91. Those are the things I picked up today, or this week. It's a lot, but I couldn't pass up on the Sega Master System games, and I couldn't pass up on the boxed and television games, and my cat just jumped in my lap. And I couldn't pass up on the cheap Atari computer games, and I couldn't pass up on the cheap NES games. So basically, all of the stuff I bought, well, because I had to. So thank you for sitting and watching a 15-minute video of me rambling on and on about a bunch of crap that I picked up this week. I hope it doesn't deter you from watching more of my videos.